Welcome to, I guess, today, this week, the Saturday night Antoine Anonymous live meeting.
I think it's good.
Perfect. And yeah, yesterday for some reason, it just slipped my mind. What was I doing? I think I was outside or something. And when I'm outside and I build shit, I get I just forget about the world sometimes. Hello. Um, I can't say your name because I can't read that language. I think it's Arabic. But Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Hope you're good, and hopefully you are not near the conflict in the Middle East. Hamed, nice to meet you, Hamed. But yeah, so what I'm doing here, for those who don't know, is that every week, usually it's Friday night, I have this live stream where I talk about my experience, strength, and hope of my overcoming of the drug addiction and the ongoing recovery that I want to do, that I have to do, that I get to do to stay clean. So it's I'm really grateful for that. Clean today, but it wasn't always like that. I had a lot of a few rough patches in my life, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are going through their own little rough patch, and this is maybe, maybe I'm gonna help someone with this. But one thing's for sure, I am helping someone because it is helping me to actually, you know, give back like that. You can only keep what you have by giving it away. So let's start with, where is that thing here? There, that's it. I'm gonna put the Serenity prayer. So God, or for you, Hamed, Allah, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What a nice prayer. It's all about acceptance, you know, and figuring out what you can control, what you can't, and then knowing which is which. It's a great prayer. Jesse Brown, I got the job I always wanted and going to the gym, staying away from bad company. Life is good. I'm glad to hear that, Jesse Brown. You're the man. You're the man. Hamed is the man too. So what I'm gonna do now, because every week this is what I do. So far I've I answer the questions in the chat, obviously. And for those who are there every week, and I'm repeating myself, is just because until like people know what this is, I kind of have to remind the new viewers. But yeah, the whole goal of this is that if you're struggling and you need help, you can either listen to me or ask me a question, and then I can tell you what I did to overcome my own struggles. And they're not really directions for you to do, right? Only suggestions that I can say in regards of what happened to me in the past and my own experience. So I'm not even a counselor. I'm not even a shrink. I'm not none of that stuff. I'm just one of you guys. Uh, you know, I had my own problems of drug addiction in the past. Just one of you. I'm a normal dude, right? People, because they think that I'm behind a microphone, behind a screen, I'm different. But no, I'm actually just an addict in recovery who happens to like working out. It's pretty much what it is. And I also like sharing the things I do online, obviously. So, but what I do every week, I will answer questions, and I will also read the daily reading called the Just for Today, and I'm going to talk about that. So let's go through the chat here. So Bubba, now skip to link is telling me how I am. I'm good. I was outside all day today. Um, a nice sunny day. Had a walk. Did legs this morning. I had one client this morning. Shout out to Cece. Okay, Bubba. He's saying, I'm finally sober, but now I have to fight suicidal thoughts. I guess I fried my brain from years of drug use. How do I fix that? So look, Bubba. Okay. For me, I'm gonna talk about myself, all right? If I ever say you, it's not really you, it's me. But me, there was a reason why I was like getting fucked up on drugs, right? The reason was is that I didn't like how my life was. And then drugs for a brief moment made my life better. It was kind of like the cure, the instant cure back then of like making my life good. But obviously it didn't work because I had to do more drugs day after day, and then it ruined me, right? But now, once I got clean, I was still stuck in the same life that I was running away from. So right now, with your situation here, you were doing drugs, and then now you're stopping, but you're still stuck with a life that you had problems in the past, probably, that you have problems right now dealing with because you have bad thoughts, right? So once you remove the drug, you're still, the drug wasn't the problem. The drug, I mean, it was a problem, but the drug was like a solution to the life problem. It's like the way you perceive life is in a way that it made you do drugs. So once you stop doing drugs, you're still perceiving life the same way. So now, Bubba, what you need to do, in my own opinion, is that you gotta accept life on life's terms somehow and be at peace with what's going on. And what I did for me is that it wasn't like an overnight thing, but right now, I don't want to run away from my life. But it took me a lot of work, and I don't see life the way it is as the same as before. I see it differently now, and for me, it took a lot of therapy, took me a lot of rehabs, took me a lot of talking about this stuff, like right now, right, with other people. Took me a lot of listening. But Bubba, you can feel, you will be able to feel good. There is hope because millions of people are going through shit and then they do drugs and then they stop and then they're in the same spot as you. Like, wow, life without drugs suck, right? Everybody was there. But the thing is, you have to build a life you want to be sober in. So maybe now it's going to be it's like, what do I have to do? For sure, you have to stay clean because doing drugs will only make things worse because it's only a little plaster, little band-aid on a big wound, you know? Maybe there's trauma you got to deal with. So my suggestions will be maybe like either you go to a NA meeting or AA if it's alcohol, your thing, but you said drugs. NA meetings, you could share, you know, like your life depend on it because it does depend on it when you think about it. Or you get a shrink, or you do therapy, all that type of stuff. But Bubba, I would suggest just, you know, day by day, just day by day, keep pushing, and then next week you can tune in again here, and then you can tell us what you did to help yourself a little bit, because honestly, like to unalive yourself would be a permanent solution to a temporary problem, and then this is not what life is about. You need to live life. Life is good. You can make it good. It's not good right now, maybe that's what you believe, but you can make it good. But you probably need help, and this is what you're doing right now. You asked me, and I'm trying to help you. But like I said, the most important thing you need to know is that nothing lasts forever. If I'm angry, it's not going to last forever. If I'm sad, it's not going to last forever. I'm not going to last forever. The earth is not going to last forever. The universe is not going to last forever. So just take hope and peace in that. This too shall pass. However you're feeling, this too shall pass. So I'm going to keep reading the comments, but we can, I'll read some more of your own replies, and then we can keep the conversation going. Skip to link. I tried to contact you many times about something important, but no avail. I cannot reach you to talk about something important. Well, Skip, is it regarding drug addiction and recovery? If so, you can ask here. Asan is asking, do you view substance abuse substance addiction differently from behavior? Like, I mean, it's not that much different because both is triggering the reward system in the brain, right? Like sex is very, like sex is very much close to like drugs. It's pretty much like drugs. If as an addict, you would have to tell me like, can you choosing between drugs and sex? I would choose sex over drugs, even though I was an addict. So I get it. I think I had also that problem when I was under the influence. I was pretty much. I think I had a sex addiction too. So it's very closely related. Even food addiction is related, and there's a different programs for that. Like there's a 12-step meeting for everything nowadays, and I've actually done. It's called, was it SLA, Sex Love Anonymous or something. There's Sexaholic Anonymous too. So there's a lot of a 12-step program for sex addiction too. So it's very, very much similar to drug addiction. It's just instead of like taking a drug, you're using sex to like or porn or whatever to make yourself feel better. Overeating, yes, ASN overeating, also a drug. Jesse Brown, I found going to art. Yeah, talk about art. Yeah, art is very good. I like art. The time I did the most art actually was in rehab. I did some when I first moved in now, but now what I've been doing with my free time is outside building stuff, gardening and things like that. But art is great. I would like I would be so angry, I would try to hold on to that emotion and try to put it on paper in a drawing. And obviously, the first 3 or 4 weeks in rehab, all my drawings would be very violent, very like graphic and stuff because this is how I felt. And honestly, the best art is when you're really genuine with yourself and you're really sharing honestly how you feel on the paper. It can be music, can be drawing, can be poems, can be anything. So that's good, you know. Yeah, so it focuses on the mind, expressing yourself. Art is great. Different type of people. I agree. Solid advice if I never heard it. Yeah, I mean it's easier said than done, right? Because I'm not in that headspace anymore, Bubba. But you have to know that it will get better. If I could tell myself when I was really, really struggling, the future me, which is right now, I would tell my old self, like, hey, man, trust me, it's going to be good. I would probably have a lot of hope back then, right? I had some hope, but it would make, if I could just show my old me what I have right now, it wouldn't even believe what I have. But I only got there because I got clean and I worked hard on my recovery. Oh, skip to link. No, man. Get out of here. I don't. It wasn't me. You keep messaging me about those bitcoins there. I didn't lose them. It wasn't me. You got the wrong guy. You got to move on. Well, I'm just gonna. There you go. There you go. All right. I hid the user from the channel. This guy's been spamming me. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, guys. Okay, ça va bien. Alex Beaumier. Yes, Antoine, je te suis depuis assez longtemps. Dans le temps des vidéos de training dans le garage avec Cédric. Bravo pour le cheminement. Ton parcours est inspirant. He said that he's been following for a while. He remembers the videos. And the path I chose is inspiring. Well, thank you, Alex. Merci. Asen is saying, do you need to address all your addictions separately? It depends. For me, when I fixed my drug addiction, my sex addiction kind of stopped. And a lot of the behaviors that I had were kind of like related to like my behavior with drugs. So, but some people will do like different meetings for different things, right? There's like a codependent anonymous meeting. So if you have like really bad relationships and you're kind of stuck in toxic relationships and you're really dependent on the people and and things like that, they have a meeting for that. But then if you have that and you also have drugs, but the 12-step program, if you follow it, it's kind of the same thing. Like with NAAA, Sex Anonymous, whatever. If you just remove the word alcohol, you can switch it up for drug. It's the same 12 step program, very similar. So usually, I think people, if they just follow one program, their whole life kind of gets better. And with NA, you could actually, when you work the steps, you write them down. There's like a step working guide, like a little book. You go through. There's questions, and it makes you reflect. You write. You introspect. You think. If you just do that, all the other behaviors and problems will pop up in you doing the steps. So with the 12 steps, you could actually just, from what I've seen, if you really go into it honestly, open-minded and honest into one program, you're going to be able to overcome all the other addictions at the same time, usually, right? Because, for example, let's just take the acceptance and gratitude. Let's just take these two things. Let's say if I have a problem with food and I don't want to binge, well, I have to accept the feeling of like what it's like to be without that food. And if I'm feeling sad, I have to accept the feeling of being sad and work with it. And another way to do that, if I'm also angry or whatever, I try to think about all the what I'm grateful for in my life. And because you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. So gratitude will help me be like, you know what? I'm grateful for all that I have, my house, this, that. And then you start feeling a little bit better. And then you won't, you'll sit through that shit feeling of the craving of food. And then you'll overcome that. And then you'll go to bed. And then you'll wake up, happy and proud of yourself that you didn't binge. And then if I use acceptance and gratitude with my drug addiction, like I have a craving for drugs, I got to accept the fact that I'm an addict and I can't use it, and no matter what, but I feel really bad, and I'm going to reach out to my sponsor, talk about it, accept how I feel, because when we use drugs or we use something external to like change the way we feel, it's just because we don't accept the way we feel right now. Like, oh, I don't accept how I feel, and then I want to change it, right? But then if I start thinking about things I'm grateful for, you know what? I'm grateful that I got this and that. I'm grateful that I'm not at my rock bottom anymore. Then you start thinking about that, and then you go to bed clean. You wake up clean, and then you're proud of yourself. So both are different drugs, food and then drugs, right? But both I use acceptance and gratitude to overcome it. So you can use the same principles for all the addictions, pretty much. So I hope that answered your question, Asen. Do you have any other questions? There's 19 viewers right now. Welcome, everyone. This is the Antoine Anonymous live stream. And it's a live stream about, where I share my experience and I try to help people with their own struggles, especially if it's related to mental health and or addiction, all kinds of addiction. I specialize in drug addiction, sadly. But what's the cool thing with my drug addiction is that it used to be a curse. My drug addiction used to be a curse, but now it's a blessing. Why is that? Because now I'm clean, and because of that drug addiction that I had, that I'm overcoming every day, that I'm recovering every day. Now I can help people with that. So it used to be an affliction, used to be a curse, and now it's a blessing. It turned to something good. So everybody struggling too right now can think of that. Like whatever you're going through right now, it freaking sucks. But overcoming it, the new person you're going to be after, is going to be a blessing. You'll be like proud of yourself, and you'll be a better person. You'll be able to help people. You'll be able to like go through life with a different perspective, a better perspective. But we can only reach that by overcoming the shitstorm that's right now, if you're going through a shitstorm. So, anybody else have questions? If not, you can always ask a question even if I'm talking about something else. So what I'm going to do now, I got the Just for Today reading. I'm going to pop it up right here. Boing. Poof. So the Just for Today reading is from a daily reflections book called the Just for Today book. And every day, it's a little quote from the basic text, which is like the big book of the NA program, which is like all the information is in there. Lots of stories, lots of like explanations, and just, lots of text, the basic stuff. So what's from the basic text today, June 28th, is this quote here from page 186 about group conscience. It says, working with others is only the beginning of service work. Huh. Working with others is only the beginning of service work? What does that mean? And then there's a whole 2-3 paragraphs on it. So I'm going to read it now. And I'm going to explain to you guys what relates to me with this. Service work calls for a selfless devotion to carrying the message to the still suffering addict. Boom. That's the whole point of the program. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm carrying the message of hope to everyone out there, struggling or not, and especially to the still suffering addict or the still suffering period. And the thing is, that's how everyone pretty much stays clean. The best way to stay clean is to help people get clean. My baby's in the back. It's bedtime for him. I don't know if you can hear him or not. He's doing okay. He does that. So I'm going to reread the first sentence and then keep going. Service work calls for a selfless devotion to carrying the message to the still suffering addict. But our attitude of service cannot stop there. Oh, cannot stop there? What does that mean? Service also requires that we look at ourselves and our motives. Oh, the motives. The motives. That's the part where you have to be honest with yourself. Am I really helping that person because I'm genuinely want to help and give back to the world? Oh, there's an ulterior motive that I'm doing this actually for myself. Let's keep going. Our efforts at service makes us highly visible to the fellowship. In NA, it's easy to become a big fish in a little pond. Our controlling attitude can easily drive away the newcomer. What this rings a bell to me is this. So a lot of time, like a good example is Jehovah Witnesses. They knock on your door. They're trying to sell you their religion. They're promoting it. And what does it do? Most people were not Jehovah Witness. I'm like, there's a bunch of jokes about them. They knock at the door. Oh, not these guys again. Right? It's because they're actually promoting their message. You don't want to promote the message. You want to make it so attractive. Whatever you're doing, it's like so attractive to them that they want to do it too. So I'll always think about that for the program. It's attraction, not promotion. So I'm never going to push the program on anyone. I'm just going to talk about how it's good for me, how it saved my life. And then if you guys want a piece of that, you know what to do. You just ask me some questions or just research what's a 12-step program, or just even if it's not the 12-step program, you can just ask the person. You're like, wow, this guy he looks so serene. He looks so peaceful. He has a serenity. How did you get there, bro? And then you start something, your new path in life or something. All right, we're going to keep going. Okay, the newcomer. Group conscience is one of the most important principles in service. It is vital to remember that the group conscience is what counts, not just our individual beliefs and desires. Ooh, the group conscience. But that's kind of like an abstract a little bit. The group conscience in the meetings is like the whole group as a whole, that conscience. And the thing is, like, you could even like go even further than that. What's the biggest group conscience is there? It's the whole humanity around the globe. There's a big group of consciousness there. All the consciousness together could be the group conscience. So what's the best for that? What's the best for everyone? Not just our individual beliefs and desires. If we only go with what I want, if I just go do with what I want and what I believe in, I'm gonna miss out on so many people, and I'm missing out on the whole point of this. One sec. these zins are burning in my mouth. Um, so let's keep going. All right. We lend our thoughts and beliefs to the development of a group conscience. So we lend. Lend, is that borrowing something? So we borrow our thoughts and our beliefs to develop. So we focus, and our goal should be the development of the whole group as a whole. So everyone gets clean, everyone gets better, not just us. And then when that conscience arises, we accept it as guidance. The key is working with others, not against them. Oh, I like that. That's a great quote. The key is working with others, not against them. Man, you know what? I'm reading this. Imagine if everyone around the world would follow this. The key is working with others, not against them. There will be no conflict, no war, nothing. But people, like, they have their own selfish views and values, and they try to push it on other people, against other people. They don't try to work with them. So this is like, it goes from like you and your wife, you and your friends, this can work with that, and then it goes to the it can go on a global scale. It scales up. Fractal. Multiply. Very good sentence. The key is working well with others, not against them. If we remember that, we strive together to develop a collective conscience, we will see that all sides have equal merit. All sides have equal merits. They all have equally merits from their own little point of view. When all the discussions are over, all sides will come back together to carry a unified message. When discussions, talking, right? All sides come back together, then it will be a unified message. It is often tempting to think that we know what is best for the group. This is so crazy, reading that, right? Like the Americans, or even the left wing versus the right wing, they all think they know what's best for the group. But if we remember that it doesn't matter if we get our way, it is easier to allow service to be the vehicle that is intended to be a way to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. So for example, if you don't care about being right, it's easier for everyone to receive the message to stop the suffering. So this can mean different things to Alex, to Jesse Brown, to Asen, to Bubba, to everyone. Even the guy that I just blocked earlier because he keeps asking me about bitcoins that I lost. This guy's crazy. He tried to blackmail me. So a little pause here. He sent me pictures of myself, photoshopped, naked. I'm gonna send this to your mom, he said. Unless you give me like a password. It's like, dude, stop. I don't have it. I don't have the Bitcoin you're talking about. He's crazy. He's so crazy. Anyways, even that guy deserves to hear the message. Anyways, let's keep going. Just for today, I will take part in the development of group conscience. I will remember that the world won't end just because I don't get my way. I will think about our primary purpose in all my service efforts. I will reach out to a newcomer. So this is more like they brought it back. It's brought back more to the meeting itself. But the world won't end just because I don't get my way. So it's like we put so much importance on like making sure we get our way that we miss the whole boat. Because the purpose is not that to be right. The purpose is to help others, spread the message, help the still suffering addict. And then it says here, I will reach out to a newcomer. A newcomer is somebody who's like new to the program. They'll say like they just like, it's the first time they step into a recovery, and all they knew was like just like drug use, and they think they're like alone. And then they arrive and they realize that there's other people struggling like him. Well, that's a newcomer. and we gotta help these people, show them that it's possible to get clean, it's possible to get better. Anybody in the chat, it's possible. Bubba, with your thoughts you had, you can get better. It's possible. We gotta help people like you, like everyone in the chat that's struggling. We gotta help each other. And the thing is, you gotta help yourself too. You deserve it. The thing is, like, I always think about that. Why did I take so long to help myself when I would be willing to help any of the people I love? I would want them to be good. I would never wish them harm, right? Because they're people. They're people. I don't want people to suffer. I want people to do well. Well, I'm people too. Why did I never think of myself as a person too? It's like I didn't deserve it in my head. But we all deserve it. All you guys deserve it. So the group conscience. I mean, all these readings are like, this is my interpretation today. I'm going to read that again next year. I might think of something else, right? But this is how I perceived it today. So any of you guys have questions? Or you're just listening? Both is fine. I got 31 minutes. If I don't have any questions, I gotta go check up on the baby there. But I'm here for another 2 minutes. If you guys have some questions. Bubba, you're still there? Is Bubba there? Jesse Brown? Hussam C up there said, how's my family? My family's great. The best thing ever. Like before I had a baby, and my goal in life, I had like selfish goals a little bit, which were great, like a career, bodybuilding, all this stuff, very important. But when I became a father, I was like, oh shit, I think I was born to be a father. It's like my purpose. I realized what my real purpose was. Now all I care about, if I make sure that my wife and my kid has everything they need, this is it. I don't care if I'm another millionaire. I don't care if I'm not special anymore. All I care about is that my little baby grows up and able to make his own decisions, and hopefully with what I've shown him as an example, make good decisions. And the only way to do that for me is to, first of all, the main priority for me is to stay clean. Not get back into drugs and, do crazy stuff like I did. And to do that, I have to be in recovery. And what does that mean? It means doing things like that, helping other people, right? And acceptance, gratitude, living in the present moment, in the now, this, that, a lot of stuff, accepting that this is how I am, powerless over drugs if I do drugs. Very important. It's the most important thing. As an addict, you have to understand that you're an addict. Sometimes I would try to understand, like, why am I like this? Why this? Why do I still have like thoughts of like using when I'm like 4 years plus clean? Why? Well, why? Because I have the brain of an addict. There's a reason why I was able to be compulsive and obsessive when doing all the preps I did. It's because this is how my brain is. My brain likes patterns. My brain's like to obsess over things. My brain's like to like lock it down and do something, for like a long time, and just it's either that or I'm freaking distracted all the time. But when I find something I really want to do, I'm gonna really zone in. I think a lot of you guys are like that too. So, but the thing is, if you zone in, like if you like have a problem, you feel bad, and then you like find something that makes you feel good that's bad for you, but you don't really think, you just think about right now, and then you lock in on that and you obsess over that solution. It becomes an addiction, and then it will be bad for you. It was bad for me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this 35-minute Antoine Anonymous recovery, drug addiction / mental health help support live stream. Let's do another one next week, Friday this time. All right? Friday. So, hope you guys are good, and see you next time. And if you're struggling right now, it's possible. You will get better. Nothing lasts forever. This too shall pass. This bad feeling you have, this bad patch in your life right now, it's going to pass too. It's going to end one day. And you'll be, if you keep yourself from doing the bad decisions, if you really think like what's the right thing to do here, the good and the true. You got to do the good and the true. If you do that, and then you get through your struggle, you'll look back like, oh, thank God I did the right thing. And I didn't succumb to my temptations. Right? So we're going to end on that. Good night, everyone. It's the long weekend here in Canada. Not sure what it's in the U.S., but it's just another day. Let's do our best and go to bed. Wake up tomorrow, do the same thing. Peace out.